Hey folks, and welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a Minecraft Bedrock tutorial for the one-player sleep command system. This one doesn't require any add-ons. Everything is done in-game, and I'm actually going to include a schematic at the end of the video which will show a diagram of how it's built, what all of the components required are to build this system, as well as a list of all of the commands that will be included in this. I will actually list them out by command type, and this way you guys will be able to pause the video, grab whatever commands you need. I can also put them in the description down below as a copy and paste option for those PC players. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. I actually have one of the systems already built, and it kind of works out that it's nighttime. Let me go ahead and put that back on. So I'm going to do a quick fly around so that you guys can see what this system looks like. It is a 7x8 block system, and that is just so that there is a little room on the outside for people who might want to block this off. We'll hop right into what the items are that you need. So this is the one-player sleep items. These are all required, so you're going to want your command blocks, building blocks, comparator, redstone torch, daylight sensor, and obviously a bed to sleep. These are some optional items. These are mostly used for testing the system or for protecting the system. In other words, blocking it off from other players getting in and messing with the redstone or whatever the case may be. So now that you guys can see what all is required, I'm going to go ahead and snag these and we can actually start building. And as you can see, it's nighttime right now, so if I can build this fast enough, it would actually be kind of cool to just use the new one that I built. And what we will do to make sure that this one doesn't trigger is we're going to remove all that redstone. And what I usually do first is I place my center block, and then I place one more so I can put my main command block on top of it. So there you go. You want that first command block floating like that. Then in here, we're going to make this a repeat unconditional needs redstone. And the command for here is going to be execute at A, which is all players, and then your tilde, so tilde, tilde, tilde. You want it to execute at each player. And then we're going to do detect at their location, but down by a block. So under them by one, a bed. Again, below the player. And then we're going to do time add. I do 400 just so this way the night skips quickly. Most people do 100 because that also gives you some time where in case you click on your bed by accident and you want to get out, it gives you a little more time to respawn that way. But that is that entire first command. The execute at A, tilde, 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 detect, tilde, tilde, -1, tilde, bed, -1, time, add, 400. Now, this is actually the entire sleep system. You can just put a redstone torch under that, put a bed down, and it works. So, with that being said though, I will show you what the extras are that I usually put on here. And this is so that it kind of helps out the rest of the players on the world, realm, server, whatever the case may be. So you're going to need 3 commands here. This very first one, super simple, is going to be an impulse unconditional needs redstone. And I don't know if you guys notice, I always turn on my previous output. The reason why is so that this way, if one of the commands does decide to act goofy, you can see what errors you get in this box, in the previous output box. It's also a good way for commands that don't display anything on screen for you to get the results of. So like if you're trying to test for players, or if you're trying to clear players of certain items, that information will show up down here in the previous output box. But the command for the first impulse box, this is going to be impulse 1, is going to be weather clear. And that's it. Because what you want it to do is this way when they wake up, they will have a clear day. Now, your next one will be a chain, unconditional, always active. So this is going to trigger as soon as the person hits the bed and the time starts adding. Because it's unconditional, it doesn't matter if the weather gets set to clear or not. This is going to turn off, the command is game rule do insomnia false. So what this is going to do is this is going to turn off the insomnia effects for any players that have not slept in 3 days. And what the insomnia does is that's what causes the phantoms to come and attack your player if you haven't slept in 3 or more Minecraft days. And then your next block will be a chain. I always do this one as conditional, always active. And this is going to be, slash game rule do insomnia true. And what this does is this just reactivates the insomnia option in the game. So this will stop the phantoms from showing up. This will allow them to show back up because some people do farm the membranes for repairing their elytras and such. So there's your initial system. This block right here is going to change from night to day. That's what's going to add your time and allow just one person to sleep. This one is going to set the weather as clear. That one's going to turn off the insomnia, and then your last one is going to turn the insomnia back on. Now, your next command, these ones are optional, but I like them, especially in multiplayer settings. This block here is going to be your nighttime message. So this is going to be an impulse, unconditional, needs redstone. And I usually put a name here, either the name of the realm or a server or the owner's name. Like for me, I use Lucky Lip. And this is just who's going to announce this message. And this command is, again, a really easy one. It's /say, so it's going to announce it in the chat box, not to any specific person. So /say, and then I usually add some custom colors here. Since this is the night one, we'll go red, and we'll just say good night. And then you do the same thing over here, but this one is going to be your daytime message. So this one, every time the sun comes back up, this is the one that's going to trigger. So I'm going to do the same Lucky Lep, but we're going to change the color of this one. We're going to say it's going to be like a goldish, yellowish color. And this one's going to say good morning. Nice and easy, nice and simple, just for demonstration purposes. Now, to set up the redstone for this is fairly simple. You're going to take your comparator, and off of your repeating command block, you're going to have a comparator that faces into your weather clear impulse block. So every time this one triggers, it'll start this chain. Then you can come underneath and put a redstone torch. And that usually triggers the goodnight message for some reason. Well, because the redstone touches that one. Then you're going to put a comparator facing into the block where the other comparator is. Then you're going to have a comparator from the back side of the command system facing into that comparator. Then you're going to take your daylight sensors. You're going to place one here and leave that for daytime. And then you're going to place one on the back and change that to a night sensor. So you want it to detect and activate when the sun goes away. And then on this side, for your daytime greeting message, you're going to put down your regular daylight sensor and then a comparator into it. That's going to trigger that. Now, this is all of the redstone set. The only thing that's missing at this point from this system is the little extra block here. This block is what tells the rest of the multiplayer settings who is sleeping. If you want that one as an option, all you do is add a block to the very front of the system right off of the repeating command block. And then I usually place the second one, so I can place this command block here, and then you can break that. This command is, again, super simple. It's an impulse, unconditional, needs redstone. And for the command, it is going to be the same as the other one. So execute at a detect, excuse me, I can't type. Detect -1 bed -1, so when the bed is under them. And then the command that is going to run when that happens is going to be /say at s. Oh, I'm sorry. I usually add a little bit of color to this too, so it highlights. So at s is sleeping. Shh. We don't want to wake him up. And then you take a comparator and run it off the other way from this repeating block into that one. So now this whole setup is done. Now, because it's daytime, I'm going to go ahead and set up this block here, which is going to be just a time set. I'm going to do midnight, so it gets really dark. And then we are going to grab a button to put on this one. And before I trigger this, what I'm going to do, just so you guys can see that it's this system that's working and not this one, I'm going to come over and take all of these out. Just because I don't want anything to possibly trip from this old system. And then we'll take our bed, we'll put it right in front of our night, or I'll put it just to the side of the night block. Now, when I set it at night, good night, I get the message on screen. I walk up onto the bed. You have to be on the bed and looking down at it, and then you click the bed, and you saw how fast, and there's my messages. IrishMac 1985 is sleeping, and then good morning as soon as I got out of the bed. And that's it, guys. That is the entire one-person sleep. The only other extras that aren't on here are if you have a currency system on your realm and you want to award people for sleeping or for playing on the server to where they get a certain amount of currency every day. What you can do is right off of the good morning message, you can go in and put a chain conditional, always active, or actually, I'm sorry, this one can be unconditional. And then you can do your scoreboard, players, add, at a, and then whatever your currency is. So we'll just put currency, and then whatever the award amount would be. So we'll just say 25. They get $25 for playing on the server every day. This way, every time the sun comes up and it's a new Minecraft day, they get awarded 25 currency. And that is it. If there are any questions you guys had about this system, if there are any alternatives you would like to see, definitely feel free to drop those in the comments. Also, if this command system was explained well enough and you like the layout, you like the schematics, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, let me know in the comments. This is mostly what my new videos are going to be about, is we are going to stick mostly with tutorials for my short uploads, and then I'll do some gameplay for my streams. But I do appreciate you guys checking me out, checking out the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.